We were saying when I met you, you were in your early 40s, right? Yeah, younger than that.
Bro, listen, when I was born, I was 31.
That's like fucking Lee.
Like, I went from being 15 to being 19. It's so weird. Like, there's no pictures of me, but I remember being like, being 16, and all of a sudden my mother died, like aging 5 years.
Of course.
Because I remember going to my godmother's house. She going, you didn't have this 2 years ago. What happened to you? You used to be such a nice looking little young boy. Like, I went from being 16 to 30.
See, I remember there's a picture you posted when you were dancing, your little kid.
Yeah, little kid.
And that's that spirit. And the bad shit happens to you, but that thing it always comes out. My mom used to say that about me. She goes, you got in trouble, but you weren't a bad kid. Which, that's every mom would say that. But I was always, there's things that happen to you that kind of fuck you up a little. And you get sad all the time. I remember being sad. But then there was always that playful kid that would come out. But see, I moved 15 times, man. I went to 15 different fucking schools. So I was always trying to make friends. Like, I was always the new kid. It would always start the same. You're in front of the class. You see the kids, they try you out on the playground. You're going to have to throw hands maybe the first 2 weeks. Then everybody becomes your friend. And the next thing you know, we had to move again. So I was back and forth from Jersey to Florida. Even in West Virginia, we lived for a minute. And it just, and then the other thing too is like, there's shit that I remember. I mean, it just comes up when you get older and you go, how the fuck, how is that normal? Like,
you ever think of something from your childhood and you want to really think about it, but it's going to take you to a dark place, and you go,
well, my father, when he got arrested in front of me,
I'm not going to fucking even think about it.
I remember he went to the basement, and this is a thing I had, and he was hiding in the basement, and the cops came, and my godfather came, and then, they're like, don't put handcuffs on him, and I remember it, but I didn't remember it as a kid. I remember it when I'll tell you something where I started getting real fucking, I started writing a book. And writing this book was the worst fucking thing I could have done.
Horrible. I'm going through it right now.
I stopped.
For 2 weeks, I almost killed people. I almost killed people.
I stopped. And I go, you know why? Because there's no fucking happy ending yet. I don't ride off to the sunset. And on top of that, I don't need to remember all this shit. And that's when I decided to stop looking in the fucking rear view, man.
I want to write the book for one purpose that really bothers me. Mm-hmm. That really bothers me. I was telling Lee today, the reason why I want to write this book, the reason why I haven't given up is because I really want people to know where I was mentally. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while I remember, and it scares the shit out of me.
Well, the church is that vehicle too, though, for you, right?
Well, I want people to know that you could be at one place mentally and end up in a different place.
Life changes on a fucking dime.
On a dime.
And the other
But
thing,
you have to work on it.
Yes.
You have to work on it.
You can't sit around and work.
I worked on this.
You got to work
I worked on not being jealous. I worked on not letting my Cuban machismo get in the way.
Yeah.
I worked on working on, hey, don't disrespect. Who the fuck are you to call me that? I had to work on those things. I really had to work on those things. You have to think about how many times, we had this conversation one time, Lee and I. You have to go home one time and write down what it takes to be Bret Ernst every day. The patience, the level.
To have self-understanding. Everybody has blind spots. And to really assess yourself honestly and either take 50% accountability or 100% to where you're at. And with that being said, you look at, when you assess yourself honestly, and the thing, like, you need to know, like, I needed help. I didn't know how to ask for help. I just didn't know how to do it. I thought it was weak.
You ever need help, but you don't want help?
Fucking yeah, man.
That's the worst. When you need help and you don't want it.
Dude, it's horrible.
It's
fucking horrible. I got myself in a fucking hole.
Horrible hole.
A bad hole. And I just never told anybody. And I just had to get out of it. And I tried to figure out a way, and it just got overwhelming that I had to pull somebody. I've only talked to 2 people my whole life. And I pulled them aside and I said, this is where I'm at. And he almost smacked me for not coming to him 10 years ago. And 5 years ago, But the point is that when you assess that stuff, here's something somebody said to me that always stuck with me. A good friend of mine is Kid Daryl Lamontre. He was a comic for a while, but he's just brilliant. Somebody, they're still shooting off fireworks. He said, destiny is persistent. And that always stuck with me. And then I came up with this right or wrong decisions. And I always say there's not right decisions. There's not right or wrong. There's right and long. So taking that thing that destiny is persistent, say if I'm supposed to be here and I make a left, it may take me off my course, but then destiny will correct itself, right? And it'll put you back where you're supposed to be. It may be a longer fucking route, but eventually, like, I'm supposed to be here, even if I did something fucked up. Then that's where I stopped putting so much emphasis on the decisions. You know, as long as my heart's in the right place and I'm trying to do the right thing, and if the decision doesn't go that way, then it doesn't go that way. But if it takes me off my course, eventually it'll fix itself, if that makes any sense.
The comedy journey,
it's long.
And I to tell Lee,
it's fucking long.
It's not even about the stage journey. It's about your own mental journey. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you as a young man. You've grown up to be a man.
In my 20s.
You've grown up to be a man. You're be a man. You're responsible. You're in this game. You know, you figured it out. None of these fucking people can blow smoke up your ass now. Mm-mm. You're on a course now that only you could get off of.
But you have what I have, okay? And what that is that there's people in this business that just take the business home with them, okay? We got to take everything and the fucking business. We got to sit there and start replaying shit that happened fucking 20 years ago that you can't fucking shake. You got to sit there and fucking, you have all these things that are going on, and then you got to deal with this. And it's a lot, man. The business alone, people can't handle. See, I think 6 years, Lee, okay? Because, well, you're in a different situation, but I moved out here like you. I didn't fucking know anybody. Well, I moved out for my girl at the time. But I meant, I didn't know anybody in comedy or nothing. Get a job, I work. Now, those 6 years, the odds are against you when you first start. Because people quit, they go home. But once you get past a certain point, now you start playing the odds, right? Once you beat the odds and you're in it, now you're in it, you're committed, okay? Every year after that, the odds start coming in your favor because you start playing them. Whether it's 20 years, 21 years, I mean, dude, it doesn't matter, but, you know, there were times you called me fucking 5 years ago. Bret, I need this. Can you help me with this? Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. And then I'm going to call you now. You know what I mean? But now you hung in. You're done. You're there.
I can't believe I wake up.
You're fucking there. You beat the odds.
I still remember going, I'm never moving to L.A. I was that guy that I was not going to move to L.A. I'll stay in Seattle. I'll do headline.
But the scenes were different then. But you back then, the scenes were different. You could develop more, and it was more comedy driven. But you had to be here in New York in order to be somewhere. Right, now it's just the opposite. Those scenes are kind of fucking played out, but you can be anywhere now, especially that you're established, because you put your time in. The internet is the greatest. This is the best time to be an artist, I think. That's why I gave my special away for free. I put it out there for free. You want to give me fucking Mickey Mouse dollars? Because I think we had a similar situation in the beginning. And I just said, fuck it.